Okay, let's give you guys some more practice. So determine if this series will converge or if it will diverge. So press pause and have a go. Okay, so for any series to converge, the limit of this thing must equal zero in order for this series to converge. So let's check that the limit of this thing. Let's check that the limit of this thing equals zero as n heads towards infinity. So as n heads towards infinity, the numerator will act as 2n to the power 3. The denominator will act as 6n to the power 3, which is a third. So now a third to the power of 3 over n. So here you've got a number that's smaller than 1, and then you multiply by itself many times. Then it's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. It will eventually head towards towards 0. So this test here doesn't tell us anything. If it's anything other than 0, let's say 3, then we know that the original thing will diverge. But because it's 0, it doesn't really tell us anything. So we've got to do something else. Well, that something else should be the root test. Because if you look at this here, you've got 3 to the power of n. Well, when you do the root test, you're going to have this here. When you do the root test, it's going to be 1 over n, and then this times with this, it simplifies itself out. So this should give you a hunch that you should use a root test. So to use a root test, so we are going to use a root test. So to use a root test, we need to compute this value here. We're going to discard this absolute sign because n is moving from 1 to infinity. It will always be positive, therefore it's always positive. So we're going to discard this absolute sign. So that will then give us this thing here. Okay, so with the root test, we need to compute this value here. So computing this value, this whole thing here will then become this. So now it's just a matter of getting this multiplied with this. That will then give you this. So now as n heads towards infinity, the numerator will act as this. The denominator will act as this, and then this thing here, and this will then become this, and then you cube it. When you cube a number that's smaller than 1, it's going to be this number here is going to be less than 1. So going back to the root test, remember with the root test, if the value that you're trying to compute is less than 1, then the original series will converge. You see, our value here, RAN, this value here, the value that we're trying to compute, turns out to be this thing here, which is less than 1. So this is our scenario here. Our value is not greater than 1, so we can forget about this. Our value here is not equal to 1. Our value here is equal to a third to the power 3, which is less than 1. So we can now conclude that the original series will converge. So we can now conclude the original series will converge. Okay.